ashore along the barrier islands in the Gulf of Mexico. That is occurring as crews hope a big steel box will stem the flow of crude into the Gulf. Correspondent Chris Gutierrez is live tonight in Louisiana with the story. Good evening, Chris.
Hello, Brett. It's going to take a while to get that massive box down into place. Believe me, it's no easy task here. BP is using underwater vehicles with cameras to guide and to position that box directly over the main leak. Remember, this is happening a mile below the surface, and there are no guarantees this will work. Governor Bobby Jindal tells me he knows what's at stake. In a Black Hawk helicopter high above the Gulf of Mexico, Governor Bobby Jindal and I got a first-hand look at the oil moving closer to Louisiana's sensitive wetlands.
You're talking about incredibly important estuaries, fisheries, wildlife areas. It is so important to keep the oil out. So when you look at the shrimp population, the oyster population, you look at the birds that depend on these wetlands, it becomes much more complicated to clean up these wetlands.
During our hour-long flight, we passed boats working to contain the oil. Governor Jindal says these local boats and their crews would typically be out collecting a large portion of our nation's seafood.
Bottom line, what we have told BP and the Coast Guard, they got three obligations. Put these guys to work so they can pay their bills. Secondly, stop the leak, clean up the oil. But third, make sure the fisheries are restored so that they can continue to earn a living down here. This is America's wetlands. This is one of the most productive fisheries in the entire country.
The rust-colored oil that washed ashore along the Chandelier Islands yesterday wasn't as prevalent today because the winds shifted the current. But this island chain is home to hundreds of vulnerable nesting birds.
The bottom line is we're going to get it done. We'll do whatever it takes to protect our coast, and then whatever oil makes it through, we're going to work at it for as long as it takes to clean it up.
You know, the sheriff here in St. Bernard Parish was also with us on our flight today, and he says if that oil makes it into those marshes, Brett, it could take decades to clean it out. Back to you, Brett.